So that's why in June, so I won't be available. I will be in America, but you will have a special audience with a monk in Switzerland itself. So Varapunya also asked me when would I be able to go to Switzerland for the retreat. She asked me this year, but unfortunately, I won't be able to do this year because there are so many things happening. One trip to America for 1 month, and then back, and we are having this special ceremony starting this meditation hall this year. So I'm planning in this process, so we'll not be able to go. But meanwhile, also December, there's possibility I may have to go back to Thailand for 1 week for my teacher's funeral, but not confirmed yet, waiting from the king to decide the date. Once the date is confirmed, then we'll go that as well. So that's why days are very tight. So we'll not be able to travel to Switzerland this year. So, and Varapunya said that maybe next year. So maybe.
Yeah, maybe next year we can plan together with the group.
So that's why you have a free holiday from me in June. Holiday from me, but not from practice. Okay. Right. Okay. I think we are online now. Okay. Varapunya, would you like to say something before we start?
Yes, welcome back to March this year. From last month, we have learned about the body scan, which is quite good. I don't know everyone practiced about it. So I did that every day, plus before sleeping in the morning, and in the evening. It's really helpful because every day you get some stress, some concern. So you can let it go by scan your body. So that is the one that I would like to share with you that you can go back to practice easily, 20 minutes. And then last month, Ajahn talked about the Makabusha, right? So that is also good to know about this story. And then we will come back to, I hope this one is fit at the time for you, right? So we can go back to this our practice as usual.
Right. Okay. So thank you very much. So in that case, before the actual discussion and talk, let's practice meditation. Okay. So sitting in a comfortable position, adjust yourself. You may take a few long, deep breaths. And gently close your eyes. And listen to the breath, the sound of the breath. And leaving all responsibilities aside, just be here and now. As you feel that your mind is settled, we'll start from the practice of a body scan. So bring your attention to the head. Awareness of any sensations around in your head. Whatever sensations are there, be mindful of it. And each breath that you take in, aware of that sensation around in your head, and breathe out, relaxing, releasing. In a similar way, moving all the 7 parts from there to the right hand, awareness of all the sensations that's taking place in your right hand. Should you need to change your hands simply to make it relax as you feel tension, then please do so. And moving the attention to the left hand and awareness of sensations in your left hand. Move your attention to the front of the body, from the neck down to the belly. Whatever sensations are there, just be mindful. And shift your attention to the back of your body. Upper back and lower back. And again, should you need to adjust, please do so, mindfully doing it. Mhm. Down to your legs, a right leg and a left leg. And in a reverse, from the leg to the head, awareness of sensations. And do not rush. Take your time, step by step, full awareness. Now settle yourself down on one particular object, just to gain the concentration and focus attention, to gain the calmness of the mind. You may focus your attention on your nose or on your belly as a primary object to settle yourself down. I suppose in your nose, awareness of the breathing in and out. Become observer of the breath coming in and going out. Fixing your mind there. Not losing any breaths. And do not expect anything, but just to be observer. Keep the mind on the breath as a foundation. You're standing there. Meanwhile, developing the awareness of all other things that's taking place. It doesn't matter what arises, but be mindful of it. You're not chasing the object. And meanwhile, we're not missing any object either. Continuously aware of it. Awareness of any thought creeping in. These thoughts that literally transforms to the behavior and habits. And it goes into the consciousness and become a natural habit, and that defines the activities that we perform. So whatever we observe, whatever we see, hear, just observing objectively. We are not trying to be mindful, but trying to be a mindful being, embodying the mindfulness in ourselves. Simply to gain the freedom. Freedom from all types of miseries. Freedom from wanting, freedom from resentment, jealousy. But simply calmness and peaceful. So mindfully awareness of this primary object, the breath. Now bring your attention back to your eyes. Feel the tension in your eyes, generating intention to open your eyes and back to the room. Now slowly open your eyes and back to the room. Come out from the practice. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our session again. Before starting the talk, anybody wants to share, or does anyone has got any problem? If not, sounds no, which is the most beautiful silence that I normally receive. Right, okay. Once the Buddha said that the great ocean has only one test. Doesn't matter how big this ocean is, but it has only one test, and that is the test of a salt. So as a result, Buddha himself concludes his entire teachings saying that it has only one test. That is the test of freedom. So that is the test of freedom. And this freedom is basically a freedom from all the miseries, freedom from all the sufferings, and freedom from all the disappointments and like that. So that's a freedom from, in a nutshell, a freedom from all kinds of suffering. Right? Now, in order to attain this freedom, people are thinking of doing in various ways. Sometimes people will go up to the mountains and are thinking that they can link to the divine God, or sometimes will pay respect to the mountains and trees and rivers, thinking that that will make them free. Whereas in Buddhism, he said that in the process of getting this freedom, this process is called a meditation. Right? So meditation is basically a means of generating this a knowledge, understanding, or kind of awakening. And this awakening is required simply to get this freedom. And then there are different types of a meditation, as we know, and we have gone through. And this meditation we call the samatha meditation or tranquility meditation, or insight meditation or vipassana meditation. either of these practices basically practiced to see, to realize, and to understand things as they truly are. And that is the Four Noble Truth. And that Four Noble Truth is basically there is a suffering. The suffering has a cause, and this suffering can be ended, and there is the way. And in that, if you remember, I had said, I have also discussed on that the first three realities, the suffering, the cause of the suffering, and the end of the suffering, was there, will be there, and it will continue. It's a natural truth. Whereas the fourth one, the path leading to the liberation, and that is the Magga, or the path, that is the findings of the Buddha. And that again concludes under the meditation, that one has to meditate in order to comprehend this Eightfold Noble Path. So, in order to understand this Eightfold Noble Path, these two practices, meditation, that's called a development of a tranquility and development of an insight, we have to practice. And both requires significantly calmed mind. Without getting this calm mind, it would not be able to comprehend or penetrate on the reality pertaining to itself. As we know that tranquility meditation actually is to recognize or settled a mind down by having one object, whereas the insight meditation or Vipassana meditation is to ability to penetrate the reality pertaining to itself. Right? And both we have to develop. And the first one, the tranquility meditation that we are talking about, it is commonly practiced in every faiths or all the spiritual practices. Whereas it is believed that this insight meditation is something that the Buddha found and taught in his dispensation. That Vipassana meditation that we are trying to make sense of, right? That is what we are trying to understand of. Yet, in order to understand this insight meditation, we have to have this calmed mind, settled mind. And this settled mind is something that requires a significant amount of the work. Right? And this work of working is the practice that we are doing. Okay? Is the practice that we are doing. And then in order to practice that, we begin with having an object, which again, this is kind of just a recapping to understand, or going back to the basics again, that we have to have an object to work with. So we're using the breath. So ability to settle in the breath, and ability to understand the breath, and ability to be mindful of the breath, in that way. And that simply we are working, we are putting a lot of effort to settle our mind down with the help of the breath. And as the mind settled, what we are doing, we are developing further on to understand the body, feeling, mind, and phenomena, right? Coming back to the Satipatthana, the four foundations of a mindfulness. So as we are aware of the breath, our mind is settled on the breath. The next step is the ability to understand the entire body. And which again, we did practice the relationship between the body and the breath, right? So flesh body and a fresh body, the breath body. So that's a relationship with that. And that is also we need to develop. And as we are developing this concept, this flesh body and a breath body, And then we also will be able to recognize the feelings and emotions that is in ourselves, that we will be able to experience that and also understand that. Yeah. And here what happens that it comes to the stage that these feelings are actually byproduct. Byproduct of our own relationship that we have created. Suppose like when we hear the sound, we relate ourselves and we react to the sound that we hear. And that reaction actually stamps in our heart and mind that that sound is likable or dislikable, or liking or disliking. And that liking and disliking, or in a sense, the pleasurable or unpleasurable, then that actually manipulates us more. And we manipulate that into different forms. And that actually leads to the miseries and the sufferings. There will be a tendency wanting to push that away if that's unpleasurable, and in the same time, if that's a pleasurable, then we would like to have it more like that. Right? So this is the reason why we have to be mindful more, whatever is happening, and ability to focus on and concentrate on that this is taking place. When we able to be mindful of that at the very moment when it arises, then that won't transform into other emotions and feelings. So we cannot avoid contact, but we can be mindful of that contact. And we can stop there. It's called knowing as it is when it comes to be. And that knowing, or that acknowledgement, or that awakening is the a part that we are trying to develop in our day-to-day life. Okay, in our day-to-day life, so that whenever in our daily life, when we go out and we come across with these different sensations, at that time, rather than thinking that, oh, I have to meditate now, instantly we will be able to deal with that then and then. Okay? So that is the quality that we are trying to develop. And that's why, if you remember, I've been saying it's not about being mindful, but it's about mindful being. So when you are mindful being, then what happens? Doesn't matter what's happening. We become very alert, awake, and ability to deal with it then and then. That very moment will not be disturbed by it. So that quality is actually helping us to understand that things that arise does not last long. This is quite important phrase that we have to remember. Things that arise does not last long. When we able to comprehend this theme of things that arise does not last long, doesn't matter what, then what happens that our mind basically freed from that. Our mind, we are not taking that into ourselves, and also we are not putting ourselves into that situation. We're simply observing, okay, this has arisen, this has arisen, now it's going to change. Doesn't last long. So with that, we basically getting freedom instantly there and then. So we don't need to worry about it at all, as long as we are mindful being. If we are not mindful being, what happens? That when it happens, then we engage in it, and we exaggerate or manipulate, and sometimes we take it on board, and then other time we think that we are in there, or we are, that is, which is the reason of anxiety and depression. Anxiety and depression is basically we have this anxious mind that what if that doesn't happen, right? And depressed that it's not happening as I wanted it to be. So this is how this happens in our self. Whereas if we become a mindful being and understanding that doesn't matter what arises, it doesn't last long. So we have this phrase in front of us, then we don't need to worry about these anxiety and depression at all, because we know the thought that is invading in us, and then thought that is telling me to be, this is me, that is, it is like that, it won't be there anymore. We won't be punishing ourselves by our own thoughts. And in the meantime, we will not be anxious about what's going to happen. If not, kind of the phrase, if not, that won't be there. There will be, if that is happen, what if? So that what that is the mind we will develop. So that mindset is basically whatever is happening, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It arises due to the condition, because of the situation. So what else? So just move on. Find the ways. So there is always a way. That they say, in English, they say, when there is one door closes, another door opens. So that's the same thing we are learning to develop in our day-to-day life. That when things happen, it's okay. There are other things. The other things are coming to be. That's why I always emphasize that the practice of insight meditation is so practical in our day-to-day life that you can use it all the time. You just need to develop this skill to use it, to use it in different forms. And the moment when you have equipped with these tools in your daily life, what happens? You are a mindful being. You don't need to worry about, or you don't need to be mindful that, oh, when this situation come, which tool should I think of? No. It's not like telling the caterpillar to walk in 2 feet. So we are just caterpillar. Walk as ever, and as we are walking, and whenever there is something comes, we just climb on, or go under this stop, or just take the a left turn or a right turn, without causing any troubles. So there is a simile given that we develop our mind in a state like a water. There is a fluidity, there's an elasticity, a flexibility, and also clarity there. Clarity. Nothing is making it unclear. When the water flows, what happens? It just flows slowly, and if there is a stone, it's simply, initially the water will go from around the stone, right? From around the stone. There will be no trouble with the stone at all. The water will be simply go and hit the stone, and then see that the stone is too big enough. Now, what I do, I just go from other side, whichever ways I can go, right? So water will go in that way. And eventually, as the water level increases, what this water does, water simply covers this stone and move on, right? And it come in a stage sometimes that the water becomes so powerful that it can move this stone to other side, right? That's exactly what our mind will be if we are developing. When our mind is not developed, what happened that when we see the stone, we feel, oh, goodness me, there is a stone, what I do? So when we see the problem, we become a panic. Oh, now there is a problem. What I can do? Gosh, it's gonna make a deep trouble. I don't know what to do. So panic becomes more trouble and cause more miseries. Whereas if we are learning, practicing meditation, what happens? Even though we haven't, developed our skill, but we have learned some tactics and techniques, and we got some tools, we know how to maneuver ourselves other side of the stone. And obviously, as you develop your skills, and eventually come in a stage that you can, just ignore this stone and you just move on. And that is the being a mindful being. And that is the skill that we have to develop. And this comes with the practice. And this practice simply, first of all, we're gaining the concentration or focus attention. Mind is settled and calm with the object of meditation that we develop. And eventually we have to give that object of meditation to give away. We are not holding on to that. This is the practice. This is the one. No. It's like there's another simile you may have heard me saying, driving a car, right? Once you learn how to drive a car, you're not attached to your teacher. You're not attached to a form of a learning. No. When you're driving, whatever situation comes along the way, you able to deal with that straight away, right? When you have to slow down because of the traffic, you know how to deal with that. You're not thinking, you straight away you're able to do it. You don't have to think. Same thing if sudden things happen, what do? You just brake, push the brake and then stop there. You don't have to think. There is no time for thinking. But because of a mindfulness, you're able to stop there and then like that. So we will be developing that skill. And that skill actually helping to understand further on that the phrase that I said, things that arise, doesn't matter what, that doesn't last long. And that is the knowledge that we develop. And that's called impermanent or anicca, the knowledge of anicca. When we gain this anicca, the knowledge, then no need to worry at all. Our life becomes beautiful. And we can drive a car without any trouble, no matter which situation we are in. Whatever troubles comes, we simply use it like a stone that we cover by the water. Right? Our mind develop into that malleable so that we can adjust in every situation. And this water simile is quite a good one, because water doesn't have identity as not identity, shape, as this is the shape of the water. Can you imagine the shape of a water? There is no shape of a water. It just flows, and also it forms wherever it is kept. Different jars, the water also becomes different jars according to that jar. Right? Our mind also becomes in that way, that in whichever situation we are in, we are perfectly fine in those situations and yet unaffected by those situations. When you transfer from one jar to another jar, this water simply transforms into another jar. So our mind becomes in that situation. We are not attached to that jar, and also we are not keeping ourselves into that jar. Okay? So that stage of a mind is basically free, attaining the freedom in every situation, in any time. And that freedom that we are looking for with the practice of a meditation. Okay? And this practice, that's why when we are paying attention to this body or even the feeling, and then it transforms into the mind, and that mind becomes so calm and collected and so pure and so stable. When our mind in that state, what happens that we will be able to recognize the phenomena, which is whatever things arises doesn't last long. So with this, what happens that this whole four foundations of a mindfulness completes here. Whole four foundations of mindfulness completes there. And when it completes, you not need to worry about. So you are free. You are happy in every situation. Okay. And that is what we are looking for. Okay. So with this, I think I stop here. Okay. And if you have any question, you can ask after another short meditation. Okay. So let's practice meditation. Just sitting in comfortable position again. And relax yourself. So this time, I would like you to settle yourself down on the primary object to gain the concentration. Basically settling the mind down. Getting free from any forms of a desire, resentment, restlessness, drowsiness. Having full confidence in the practice and the object that you have adapted to pay attention to. So the primary object as the breath. So initially we have adapted it. So this is the initial thought of the breath. And not just a thinking of the breath, but try to sustain your attention on the breath. When you are sustaining your attention on the breath, making sure that you're observing this breath attentively, objectively, not manipulating it, not holding or regenerating or changing it. Observing the breath. As you observe the breath, you may realize that the breath becomes subtler and subtler, body becomes calmer and calmer, body and mind settled, feelings and emotions settled calmly. At that moment, each breath that is coming and each breath that is going is affecting our body. So try to understand that relationship. So whatever sensations arises at this moment, in what place or which area, which is dominant, and mind settles and observes it objectively, being mindful of that. And this moment again is checking your own mental state. Do you feel it's a bit harsh or soft? Or do you feel that you are putting a lot of effort to yourself? Or just to relax and observing objectively? And extending your awareness from just not aware of this breath and the body, seeing that the breath that you are observing, the relationship with this breath, this body that you are observing, is actually through the feelings and sensation that arises. Awareness of the feeling, feeling of calmness, feeling of a pleasant serenity. And each feeling that arising at this moment, is it just a pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling? Or just a pleasant feeling? A feeling of a joy? This calmness. And at this stage, you may extend further on your attention to the mind itself and how you are reacting to these. The feeling, the breath, the feeling in your body. Or simply just a calm and collected and alert and awake. Objectively observing these. Is there a thought of wanting to be with that, or is there a reaction towards it, thinking of I would like it to be longer or shorter, or just being observer, like the sitting at the bank of the river watching the river flow. Are you engaging with it or simply observing? Can you notice the change? Each breath, each feeling, each sensation, each knowing that are changing. Try to recognize it. Whether each seeing, knowing, sensations, breaths, how long does it last? You're simply aware of that, but not engaged with it. There is no intention to know either. Training yourself to notice that whatever is arising in reality doesn't last long. Even the knowing, even the sensation, even the emotion, even the breath. So train yourself to recognize this change, this impermanence. So mind is free from anything that comes to contact with it. So bring your attention back to your eyes. Feel the sensations in your eyes, generating intention to open your eyes and come out from the practice. Slowly, in your own time, come out from the practice and back to the room. Okay, right. Anyone, any things to share from your practice? Yes, Mighty?
Well, I would like to share something that has happened to me this week. And maybe I would like to know your point of view. This week I was asked to be a speaker in one of the meetings. And at the end we had a Q&A session. And one of the questions I got is, in bad days or during hard times, what keeps me motivated at work? But this question was asked by a lady from Ukraine. And now they are facing really the war, and it's extremely, extremely difficult for them. The thing is, I could only talk about myself and about my experiences, but I don't think my answer could help her because her reality is very different. So I couldn't say something. I don't think it's if I could say something like, "Don't worry, things will not last forever." I mean, for sure, it will not last forever. But unfortunately, this war in Ukraine is lasting too long. I mean, everybody thought that it was going to be quicker. What kind of answer could we give in this case?
That is very difficult one.
I know. Sorry for asking.
But before going into that, we have one member, and she's from Ukraine. She's from now Russian part of Ukraine. Recently, she was planning to fly to visit Ukraine, which is now Russian part. But she was refused to go on the board. So she was refused to fly. So she couldn't fly. Now, in her own words, I'm just rephrasing it. Now, coming back, thinking from 2014. Okay. So she has been coming and practicing from about 2013, the middle of 2013. When this war broke, it traumatized, worried a lot. And then she came to me and said, if I did not have chance to learn meditation, I would be devastated. I will be very worried and will be very challenging. But because I've been practicing meditation with you, I can observe these feelings and can make a peace within myself. Okay? And having said that, again, she said, that doesn't mean the worries of family back in, which is in the middle of the war taking place. That doesn't mean that there isn't any worries about it. She do feel worry about them, but there are nothing she can do. Things she can do is to contact and any possible help that she could find and support. So she was doing like that. And especially after this real war started between Russia and Ukraine, she was basically trying to contact with the different people and whenever possible and talking to them. And not only that, she was accused of supporting the West, okay, from the other part. Now, think about that. Herself being a Ukrainian and accused of supporting the West in the West. And then from the house, from the family members and the community, telling her off. So that is even more harder situation that she is in. But she always say meditation saved her, and it makes her to make a right decision. when she was refused to go on a plane. And this has just happened recently, just about, I think, 3 weeks, 2 weeks ago, when she was refused to get on to the plane to visit her family in Ukraine. First thought was, oh, it's okay. There must be some reasons. So then she managed to think that because of the election, because of the assassination, probably that caused her not to travel. But in the meantime, very next day when she heard, not heard, I mean, when she was talking to her family, then again, emotionally, she was not well, feel very down. And then again, because of the meditations, he says, it gave her strength and courage. Okay? So that's why, according to the Buddhist perspective or Buddhist principles, we can be very kind and compassionate to somebody. But in the meantime, kindness and compassion alone doesn't work. You have to have the wisdom in between too. When you have a wisdom, then you are not putting yourself in a vulnerable. When you are yourself in a vulnerable, you cannot help anybody. But whereas when you are not vulnerable, then at least you can help yourself. And then the helping yourself, that is helping others, so many other people too. Okay, so this story is basically meditation helped her to gain her strength and courage and stand by and helping other members in the family and also in the community. I hope it helped you.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Anything? Anyone? Maybe next time I will invite her to come on one of the sessions. See, she started coming to the center and practice meditation from mid 2013, from someone who doesn't know Buddhism, doesn't know meditation, and now they are assisting me, and they are also running meditation courses in Aberdeen, in different places. Herself, she ran the course when she was working at the Robert Gordon University. She's run the meditation course, and now she's a senior advisor for the counseling department here in Aberdeen, and she's running meditation course for them too. Right. So meditation helped her to be courageous and standing and helping other people here in Aberdeen, those who are Ukrainians. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Right. Okay. Any other questions or anything you want to share? Anybody on your practice or your development?
Yes. A question, not really a question. Well, my question now will be like a bit smaller compared to the Ukrainian problem from later. But it's just like when you said before that we should be like water that try to go around. If the problem is a stone, we go around or we push it if it's small enough for us to push. But from the beginning of this year, I just feel like there's a lot of stones on my way that it become like almost a dam blocking completely. Maybe it's just how I see it, like overwhelming with one thing after the other. It doesn't come at the same time, and it shouldn't be all at the same time. But from my point of view, it was like, oh, okay, one more and one more and one more, and just like building up. So I'm just like, how can I maneuver? How can I go from here? I'm trying to be like water here, but it doesn't seem that I can find a way out for the moment. So, but yeah, meditation does help that I can be like, okay, the feeling that arises because of seeing the wall in front of me was like, this is big, but okay, I'll do it one day at a time. But still, It's like, okay, will it have a crack that I can go through, or how is it going to work? So that's my dilemma of the day.
There are certain problems we cannot solve. Okay. In those cases, again, we have to remember that it says you cannot solve. In that case, you have to just leave it. And here, sometimes this living is difficult one, because we think that this is this is the thing that I have to solve it, and this is the one that is bothering me. And this here, we put ourselves at front, saying this is me, which is very important one, so that I have to solve this problem. Okay? Sometimes not solving problem, also solving the problem. Right? It's not so the practice of a meditation actually help us to recognize that things that I can solve and things that I can't. So things that I can solve, then I can deal with that. Doesn't matter how hard it will take. I will do my best to deal with that. And then if that's unsolvable, then it says unsolvable. So in that case, just leave that stone where it is. We just cover it like the water covering the whole entire stone and move on your life, right? Like that. So we all face these situations one way or another. Okay? We cannot avoid. In those situations, all what we can do is how to deal with that. It's not about the moving. You're just covering it and then move on. Right? So do not think that you have to fix every problems. Okay? Do not so take away the concept that I have to fix everything perfect, because there is no perfect. Once you fix this one, the crack will be arrive other places. Other troubles start. So there's always this happens. So that's why the practice of a mindfulness meditation is to recognize fixable and unfixable. When fixing, again, during that fixing time, other troubles come as well. So in those cases, how you're going to deal with that one. And then dealing with that again, there's another trouble comes too. Okay, so there's the series of action needed to be done. But in those cases, again, we will be able to recognize that how much I can fix it and how much I can't fix it. So with that, we are keeping ourselves in the middle. We call it equanimous mindset. Okay, like that. I tell you one story. A long time ago, and there was in my thought that after my teacher died, I was bugged by this thought that if I don't go, a temple will be collapsed. Well, teacher's legacy will be done. And that bugged me all the time for many years. And it came to the stage that, oh, what if I do not go? Always there was like, what if I do not go, what happens, right? And then in the same time, I had this thought came into my mind one night that what will happen if I don't go? Yeah. So basically from the negative perspective, I'm looking from the positive that what happens? So initially I was thinking what happened if I don't go? That is destruction. But whereas now I'm thinking in a second way, what happened if I don't go? In a sense that in a good way. And that actually happened now. See, it's been over 10 years. A temple survived, a temple move on, all activities move on, and that's happened like that. Right? And the same with here in Aberdeen also. We started this new building of construction of the meditation hall. And as again, we still have shortage of about £40,000. but we have to start this year. So then there was a constant thought coming, saying that, what if you cannot find the 40,000? Then I said to myself, what if I can't find the 40,000? What will happen? So all I can do is, okay, what will be, will be. Right? Just let's try. So with that, I have a peace of my mind. If I can solve it, it's okay. If I can't, then I have done my best. All right? I have done my best. So, well, able to satisfy myself and not bugged by, you are the one who should be responsible and you should fix it. And if you can't fix it, then you are not good one, like that. No. So meditation actually helps to keep us in that state, the ability to maneuver ourselves in a different forms. And another simile that I normally give in that way is like being I use the word dancing with the wind. Okay, dancing with the wind. So it's like a tree. When a wind comes from the east, it moves this way. It comes the west, this way. Never fight with the wind. The moment when you fight with the wind, what happens? A tree falls. But when it moves around, bending around, what happened? There are so many cracks in the tree, right? And then along with that cracks, what the tree is doing is sending its root deeper into the ground to make it firm, right? So that's exactly what we have to learn in our life. Problems are actually helping us to be strong and then firmly able to stand on the ground, not let the problem invade and makes you fall down. Okay, so dance with the wind. Okay, Jonas, I saw you.
Yes, I can relate a little bit to the same problem we has. Like I was thinking about how meditation helps us develop personality, and one part of the personality that maybe I don't like of myself is impatience. And I think you talked about it last time I watched the session, that patience is kind of the ground rule to get anywhere and to do anything. So if you lack patience, it's like you are completely blocked all the time. And that, I feel it's a bit like you say, maybe you hear a sound and you're trying to not judge it, say, okay, it's just a sound. And I try to do the same with a feeling. So let's say impatience for me, it's a feeling. I do something and it doesn't work right away. Immediately I get impatient. And that's a kind of suffering. So, and okay, already knowing, okay, this is impatience, let it go. I think it's the only way. This is the way what I learned now. Sometimes it's working, but other times it's like it just befalls, like other emotions also. And even just being in the process to understand this is an emotion, this is a thought, and I don't know, I have no patience. But it's not even really a question what I'm saying.
No, that's understandable, and patience is the key. We have a teaching, actually last session, we were talking about that. Patience and forbearance is the key for the success. It's called a kanti paramang tapoti dikha. Right? And if we want to develop our, doesn't matter only in a meditation, every career, patience is the key. And especially in the practice of a meditation, we have to have a lot of patience. We cannot attain the calmness straight away. We have to work patiently, persistently, right? Patiently and persistently working, and then we will get that. And this Same in our daily life too. It's very easy that we will be annoyed. Right? Particularly in this modern world, it's very easy to be annoyed because we are taught to get what you want. Okay? We are forced we are forced from the very child age to get and to get and to get. And if you can't get it, use every ways, twists and turns to get it. Okay? And because of we brought up in that way, and now we grown up and we have developed our life into such a stage, it comes that I am the best, I am the one who should be having it. And then you have those expectations and desires. And then with that expectations and desires, you expect others to do it. And then you can't get it what you want. And then this impatience starts. And this is normal. What is unnormal, okay, what is not normal is that your reaction to it. And normally, because we brought up to react in this way, we straight away react it as soon as it is there. Whereas practice of a mindfulness helps to recognize that, now this is not normal. Now I am getting this impatience, the anger, annoying. I am having this now. Okay? So in this case, what we are practicing is rather than looking at the person or the task, we are looking back into our own feelings and emotions. What is happening? Right? What is happening? So that's why I normally use this to say that you can expect others to do, but you can hope to do it. You can hope others to do it, but do not expect to be done. Okay, so in that case, you're always in a safe mode. As a monk, me myself, there are so many people come and offer a help. Okay, and they will say, "Oh, Ajahn, I will come and do this. I will come and do that. I will come this time or next time." And there are so many emails I receive every week that they say, "Oh, when is the meditation?" And then I explain to them that, okay, this is on a Wednesday night, and they will say, "Oh, I will come." Never turn up. And what I'll do? Okay. So that's why it is just that you hope, but do not expect. And with that, we are developing this patience within ourselves. And there will be dissatisfactions and disappointments. These arises. And in those cases, okay, now I feel disappointed. Okay, they cannot do. Okay. So like that. So that's why this has become my practice nowadays. We'll try. We'll try. And then whenever somebody offers to do this, offers to do that, and I say, okay, good. But in my mind, I will say, I won't believe you until you come. So like that. So patience is the key. And actually, the patience is actually helping to me to be more mindful of my own emotions and my own thoughts, and keeping myself in a safe place. When it happens, rejoice. When it doesn't happen, it's okay. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to leave a little early today, so let's practice loving kindness meditation, unless you have any very the important question to ask. No? Okay, let's practice loving kindness meditation to finish up, okay? Right, okay, sitting in comfortable position. Bring your attention to the body. Settle yourself down with the help of the breath coming in and going out. And reflect on today's session for a few moments. Whatever stories or principles that you want to take away and practice at home, and reflect in your daily life. Now we will practice the loving kindness meditation. So bring your attention to be aware of all the sensations in your body. And bring that attention to your hand. Feel the sensations in your hand. And to your heart. Feel the beating heart. And as you feel the beating heart, generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. And if you can't feel the beating heart, physically smiling yourself. Bring a smile on your face and feel the connection with your heart. And generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. Allowing yourself to be happy, free from suffering, and at peace. And you may recite in your head, may I be well. May I be happy. May I be at peace. May I be free from suffering. And similarly, showering loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from near dear one, or any particular person who is in need of it at the moment. So sending loving thoughts, wishing them to be happy, at peace and free from suffering. Mentally reciting, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be liberated. And expanding it to all other beings in the entire world, whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings, near and far. May they be happy. May they be at peace. May they be free from suffering. May they be liberated, liberated. May all beings be happy. And bring your attention back to the body. Feel the sensations in your body and to your eyes. Feel the tension in your eyes, creating intention to open your eyes. And slowly open your eyes and come out from the practice and back to the room. Okay, thank you everyone. So wish you all have a good weekend and enjoy and keep on practicing.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your questions and thank you for your answer. Also, it's very useful for the others. Thank you and see you next month.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, have a good weekend. Thank you.